want to share with you today about my tips, tricks, advice, mainly just advice, about how to have a natural birth and delivery and have pretty much an easier birthing experience based on what happened with me and what I applied and what I've asked clients. I manage a gym. What I've asked clients to apply when they've asked and they've had success with. So just some advice. Always take it with a grain of salt, but maybe you can apply it and see if it helps you. I'm going to start with stuff that I did during pregnancy. So like preparing from like first trimester, things that I did to prepare for birth. Mainly exercise. I say this again and again to anybody that asks me. Exercise, because you're preparing your body. Birth is like a marathon, right? You're running a marathon. You're preparing your body to run that marathon if you're exercising throughout your pregnancy and keeping your body in shape. And it's better for you, it's better for the baby, it's better postpartum because you can bounce back a little quicker, you're not gaining as much weight. It's all around a win-win situation, so I always recommend exercise. If you already have a plan, keep it up, talk to your doctor about what you need to modify. If you don't, it's not too late to start. It's never too late to start exercising. It's beneficial, and there's literally no con to it. So I would definitely recommend that. My second piece of advice is patience. I know that's a really broad word, but patience. Patience in labor. So not necessarily while you're giving birth, but patience before you're giving birth. So laboring at home as long as possible, and maybe waiting past your due date if you have to, just so that your body is ready to do it and you're not if I've heard that when you get put on Pitocin or anything like that, then it makes the contractions like closer together and a lot more difficult to go through. So I think waiting until your body is ready to give birth is a good idea, and also having patience before you go to the hospital. So I stayed at home as long as possible so that I could walk around my house, so that I was comfortable, so that I wasn't stressed out. I hate needles, so I was so scared they were going to put an IV in my arm. Like, no needles, please. So I stayed at home as long as possible, and I felt my first contraction probably about 6:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock. Woke my husband up. I was like, hey, I think I'm having like some tiny contractions. So I got up, I went walk. We lived down a little small neighborhood, and I walked 4 miles that morning, and around 11 I felt the first like, whoa, that's a contraction. you will be able to tell because it goes from like, oh, a little period cramp, and that was a little uncomfortable, to I was grasping the counter like, whoa, we should probably go. We live like an hour from the hospital, so I left at 11. We got there around noon. I had our son at 1. So I showed up at the hospital at 8 centimeters. And I think it had a lot to do with the fact that I stayed at home and I waited it out. You know, I feel like if I'd have gone to the hospital earlier, I may have, like, I feel like first of all, the car ride would have not been conducive to my labor. It wouldn't have helped. Sitting in a car for an hour and then having to sit in the hospital room, I don't think it would have helped. So I feel like I might have gotten a little fed up with it and maybe might have got an epidural. I don't know what I'd have done, but I think staying at home is your best bet. My third piece of advice is to know your plan. Know what you want to do and stick to it, and to advocate for yourself. When I first told my doctor I was planning on having a natural birth, he kind of chuckled at me. I get it, kind of. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of women that are like, I want a natural birth, and then they like freak out when it's happening. But it's a big deal. Giving birth's a big deal, so I don't blame them. But it would be nice if the doctors were a little more supportive of it. I understand it's easier for him, but I mean, he just shows up the last 5 minutes to catch the baby. He or she catches the baby at the end anyways. So it's really your nurses that need to know what your plan is in the first place. But I wrote a birth plan. I can't tell you if they looked at it or not. But I knew what I wanted to do. My husband knew what I wanted to do. It was he and I in the room. We had a plan. I'm a really determined individual, so if you're determined, you understand what I'm talking about. Like, when I decide I'm going to do something, I'm doing it for hell or high water. Like, it's happening. So I decided I was doing it, and I think it really helped also. I was able to stay determined because I showed up and I was already so close. that was, 2 more centimeters, and it was happening so rapidly that it was easy to just be like, well, I'm almost there, let me just keep doing it. So if you can stay determined and know what you want, and make sure that the people in there know what you want, and be stern about it. You don't have to do what they're telling you to do. They tried to offer me a pain pill, and I was like, no, I'm fine, thank you. So advocate for yourself. Know what you want, what you don't want, and even look up or ask what your hospital is going to offer you, so that you can make a decision while you're calm and not while you're like, having a contraction. Look up all that. Ask your doctor, see what the procedures are. And even after you give birth, you need to know what's going to be offered to your child. So it's very important to know procedures and what's going to happen, and look up on it before you go. So that's definitely important. And it's also important to know what your body's going through. So stages of labor. You may not take a birthing class, but look online. There's plenty of information, like, being in early labor and then active labor, and understanding what's happening, so that when they tell you you're at 8 centimeters, you're pretty close. You're not quite there, but you're pretty close. It's important to also, here's my last chunk of advice. Give your body the credit it needs, because I can honestly say I never pushed. My body pushed our baby out on its own. At one point, they even were like, hey, stop pushing. I don't know what they were doing, but I was like, I can't stop pushing it. I haven't pushed. It's just doing it. So stay calm. Breathe deep, low breaths. Your body's doing what it was made to do. And it's important to understand that. It's important to know that you're built to do it. Sure, complications happen, and if they arise, make sure you have a plan for that. Have a plan for if things don't go the way that you planned for them to go. But always stay informed beforehand, so that they don't tell you that you need to do something and you don't necessarily need to do it, You don't have to get hooked up to an IV. I didn't know that. I know it now, but you don't have to. So stay informed, stay calm. It happened so fast for me. It may not for other people. Please leave below what happened with you, so that others can learn, others can share, because it's really scary not knowing what to expect. But it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't near as bad as I thought it was going to be. It happened really fast. Your body just takes over. If you can make it to those mental breaks in between contractions, because you'll have a contraction, and then you have a break. If you can have your support person, or even if you can talk yourself through it, because I didn't want to hold my husband's hand. I was just, when I'm in pain, I'm like, leave me alone. You can talk yourself into, hey, you're doing a great job, and it's almost over. You're about to meet your baby. You'll be fine. And know that it hurts. Don't go in there blindly thinking that it's not going to hurt either. It hurts, but it's bearable, and it'll be over with soon. It's not so bad. But if you have any questions, comments, I'd love to hear your stories below. Shoot a comment, and I'll try to get back to you. And thank you for watching. Bye.